Hello, I'm Ben. Welcome to the channel. So, kind of got a goofy topic to talk about real quick today. I was looking at the news earlier to try to catch the weather, and what I saw on there was a little goofy. So this is the question: would alien first contact destroy religion? As NASA continues to discover thousands of new exoplanets, humans have increasingly asked, are we alone? And if other intelligent species exist in our universe, do they practice religion too? If so, how would human religions work and react possibly to first contact of extraterrestrial life? So, interesting that people think that religion will be damaged if there's other worlds with creatures. Here's my thought. God's got a better imagination than any human being. And if you've watched any Star Wars, any Star Treks, any of those movies, then you've seen characters tall and short, big and wide, and small as you can imagine across those universes. And we think apparently that humans are more creative than God. Here's my thought. If you look at Genesis 1:1, it says, in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And God said, let there be light, and there was light. And saw the light, and it was good, and divided the light from darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night, and evening and the morning of the first day. So, when you talk about Genesis, it says God created the heaven and the earth. He didn't say God just created the earth, right? So here's the question I would have for anyone that's out there that's a Christian or that's not a Christian. Why do people think they can understand God? And why do people think God is limited? I wouldn't want to worship a God that wasn't a better thinker than I or had a better imagination than I. When you read things like, and God said, let there be firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters, meaning salt and fresh. And God made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above. And it was so. It's talking about deciding and dividing the waters, and dividing the firmament which was heaven from the earth. And this was on the second day. So, my suggestion is this. If you worship a limited God, the idea of other creatures in the universe may bother you. If you're not an outdoorsman, okay, if you're not a person that spends time outside, if you're not aware of the mountain gorilla or the jungle bongo or the Tasmanian thylacine, the reason I'm talking about these animals are some are extinct. Some were recently found and were thought to be cryptids for 100 years before they were actually found. The point is, God's creation is much greater than what we ever could imagine. And if you think about the amount of property, the amount of land on our planet, and the amount of waters in our ocean that are still undiscovered and unexplored, there are still a vast number of creatures on this planet that we don't know exist. So why would we be surprised if there's creatures on other planets that we don't know exist? And how would that impact whether or not you believe in God? So sometimes when I think about questions like these, a limited person would be limited here. A limited God would be limited here. But it's not my thought that we serve a limited God, being the Christian God. It's not my thought that my God doesn't have a universe that is outside of my understanding, because many things inside the human mind are outside of my understanding, and God created those folks too. So at the end of the day, when someone comes to you with this kind of stuff, I just shrug it off and say, yeah, if you have a limited mind of what God sees, then I can see where you think God would have a problem if there's aliens. But if there's aliens, what does that mean? If you've ever looked at an octopus or a cuttlefish or a platypus and you don't think there's aliens, I would ask you, what are those three creatures? How are they so different from the rest of the world? So interesting topic, something interesting and cute to think about. But I think, especially if you're going to be a person of faith, the idea should be just like if you're a person of science. The idea shouldn't be that you just assume something doesn't exist. You just need to look for the proof that it is. In the Bible, it talks many times about things in the heavens and the sky. Many times. So it suggests that in the Bible, there's knowledge, there's things outside of our planetary limitations. Okay? In Genesis 1:1 says, in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. It doesn't say he just created the earth. Okay? So good luck with that topic. If you like subject matter such as this, please like, please subscribe. I'm Ben. Be good.